Hi, I'm Cottrell, dog behaviourist, and I'm just doing another video on my rescue series, this time about what lead to use on your rescue dog. So when your dog first comes to you, it's possible that your dog would never have been on a lead before. So you have to create a positive association with that lead. So we're just going to work through 3 leads that I'm going to try on Bear, in this case, to see which is the most suitable lead to enable me to walk in by my side. Bear, come. So the first one I'm going to talk about is just a slip lead. So it's just a slip with a stopper, and that just goes over the top of the dog's head and just sits nice and close behind the ears, and then you just push the stopper down. And when I walk a dog and I hold the lead, I want my hand over the top of the lead like riding a bike, and then I generally put the lead around my hand once, so if the dog was to lunge at anything, then the lead can't slip through my hand and they can only get that distance. So when I'm walking, I'm going to walk with purpose and confidence. So my shoulders are back, my head is up, and I'm going to have a fast pace to my walk. So the dog learns to follow, not lead. So as I'm walking with my dog, I'm just going to do a little flick on the lead and say here or heel. Here. So my dog learns to walk next to me rather than in front of me and leading me. So Bear walks quite nicely on a slip lead. So if your dog is able to walk by your side on a slip lead, that's the lead that you need to choose. The thing with slip leads is, it's about how you use the lead. It's not the lead itself. So some people get a little bit worried about having a slip lead around the neck of the dog and it choking the dog. And it will do if you let your dog be ahead of you and you're constantly pulling back and the dog is constantly pulling against it. That's using the lead in the wrong way. So if when I walk, I'm letting my dog pull in front of me and that lead is tight, it's going to put constant pressure on their thyroid gland and on their airway. So it's really important about how I use the lead, not necessarily the lead itself. So the next lead I'm going to use is similar to a slip lead, but it's called a figure of 8. So it goes over the top of the dog's head, like the slip lead does, and then I have a little device here where I pull the lead through and pop it over their nose. So if I've got a dog that wants to pull a lot, this is the weakest part of their body, so I'm going to use a figure of 8. So as I'm walking, I have a little bit more control because it's putting pressure on their nose every time they pull, and I can just check the lead and just say here, and I'm walking relaxed, calm, confident. So again, he walks really nicely on a figure of 8. There, come, good boy, sit. So the last lead I'm going to use is for dogs that really want to pull, and that's a halty. So the halty lead fits over the nose, and I have to make sure it's fairly loose around the mouth, and then you just have to make sure that the strap around the neck is nice and tight. So I'll just get the strap here and just tighten it if I need to, and that stops the halty from coming off the nose. And then what I've got is a lovely little safety strap just to clip onto their normal collar, so that if by chance they get the nose bit off, I've still got them attached. And then again, hand over the top, round my hand once, and I walk with confidence and purpose. My dog starts to get ahead of me, I just put a sideways check on the lead and I will say here or heel at the same time. So they start to understand what that phrase means. It means walk by my side. So it's about how you use the leads that's the most important thing. And if you need to get your dog used to a lead to start with, because they've never been on a lead before, the best thing to do is put the lead on in the house and practice just walking around the house or in the garden with them on it, just for short periods of time. And sometimes I'll use food to put through the loop of the lead or in this case the Holtie, so the dog brings its nose through to get the treat, and then I can safely and calmly and positively put it on the dog. So walking the dog is really important, but for some dogs you might have to get them used to a lead first before you start taking them to a park. And particularly rescue dogs, if they're a little bit noise sensitive or they're just not used to places being really busy, then I would suggest just walking them somewhere that's really quiet to start with. Get them used to different environments, walk them through town, walk them woods, past school gates when kids are coming out, cafes, pubs, lots and lots of different places, so they start to get used to the environments and they start to build their confidence. But walking is the most important skill that you want to teach your dog. And on your walk, you probably want to spend about 70% of your walk with your dog walking on lead by your side. And then 30% they can be on a long line if you haven't got recall yet on your dog. So that should comprise your walk. But the key thing is get them used to a lead first, choose the right lead, and walk with calm, confident energy.